and welcome back, my friends, Spooky Betrayal at Krondor. We were investigating this. Did I save the game? Is this or was it spooky? Let's double check, because I need that burial shroud. I need the burial shroud, okay. I may have circumvented some things by finding that burial shroud, but I've learned some things. This is a very involved quest, and it involves having to go to, that town. Actually, it's not that far away, actually. Malik's Cross and Darkmoor are also useful, but I don't want to go that way. Also, this is a bad place, but we'll get there. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's so easy just to walk over there, but there's a lot of nonsense that happens over here. A lot of nonsense. So we'll be finding some nonsense along the way, but let's go. Also, let's go back and see what we can learn. So I see if I can do this quest and get this sword, because the sword that lady is offering for opening her shop is pretty cool, and we want it. And I'm using a walkthrough because this is nonsense. This is one of those games. It's one of those games. It's much like the Legacy. If you've been watching me on Twitch with Jonathan Frakes in the Legacy Realm of Terror, there's a lot of really cryptic stuff in this game that you could spend hours and hours trying to figure out. So let's see. If we hunt this cornfield, yeah. James spotted a man in the field, bent over. He appeared to be a farmer of some stripe. While his work scene became more industrious as they grew closer to him. Undoubtedly, he had seen them as well. Would you happen to know who lives in that house nearby? I should. I've lived half my life in it. Name's Max Feber. Are you certain? Are you funny in the head, lad? Of course I'm sure. How could I not be? Do you ever make it a habit to go digging in graveyards? What do you mean? I mean, the three of us found a burial cloth, and we think he has something to do with the evil that's going on around here. You've been just desecrating graves, haven't you? You broke into my house? I'll tell the constable for this! If he was still living in town, I might feel threatened, but I'd rather imagine you've already managed to scare him off. Now, talk, or I'm gonna have a cozy little chat with a friend of mine named Nivik, Prince Aruta's tax collector. Nice fellow. I think the two of you can get along marvelously. One grave only. I'll look it up. I don't remember the fellow's name now, but he used to own the Six Toe Tavern before Nia took over the shop. I thought that maybe I could scare her into moving out and selling to me, but she's too darn stubborn. And I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been you meddling kids and your dog. What'd you do with the corpse? No corpse about him. He was down to his skeleton. I tried to rebury him, but I never found one of his hands. It's bound to be near the graveyard. I think I may have dropped it when I was near old Herschel's house. What else? That's it. That's all I know, honest. Dug him up and then I reburied him. We'll need to find that hand and bury it. No thanks to you. Goodbye, sir. I would advise you to stay away from the Six Toe Tavern from now on. I doubt you'll be warmly greeted. Yep. Poor old Maxie Fever. Now, we also need to rob the barn. And take one of these. Because these are apparently an actual important plot item that, you know, we kind of need to... Actually, let's just... Owen has space. Let's take 3 of them, just in case we need one for every person in the party. I'm not sure on that. Anyway. Then we gotta go to old Herschel's house, which is, I'm kind of sad that I can't actually sleep. Yeah, so he's next to... Go to Herschel's house, talk to him in front of Maxie's line, go to... So I don't know if one of these houses is Herschel's house. I never met a man named Herschel. I don't know who he is. But we'll click on these houses until we find out. Maybe that's during the day we go there. Let's find out about that. We need to sleep anyway. What the heck? Wow, I really went past that house. I like how we're just a bunch of vagrants camping out in the middle of their town. Wow. Here we go. The man at the door greeted James with a strange look. What were you looking for behind my house a week or so back? James looked surprised. I haven't done no such thing, he said defensively. Perhaps you could mistake me for someone else. No matter, I suppose, the man grumbled. He looked lacking conviction. Escorting the door, he shrugged his shoulder. I got some other things to do, so if you excuse me, and don't be wandering around Herschel's land again, here? Herschel scowled at them. Back again, eh? He said, slapping James on the shoulder. Now I know that something around here has you mighty interested, 'cause I know what I saw with my own 2 eyes. You've been around here before looking for something out behind the house here. What were you looking for, boy? I insist that I have not been looking for anything around here other than an answer to who the person is that you think I look like, James said. He numbed that he actually had gotten the phrase out of his mouth. Running a hand across his bald pate, the man made an intermediate sound. Don't know, don't care. Now just leave me be, okay? Not want to start an argument with the stranger, James allowed them to be rescued at the door. Let's try again. Well, okay. Herschel had nothing to say to me about the hand, about Maxie. Unless that's this house, but I'm pretty sure this was an abandoned house that we just, you know. Okay, so maybe that was a waste of time. So we gotta move on to little old Lyton down the road. So we'll do that. It's a good thing I got lots of food and I can keep buying lots of money so I can keep buying food. Because otherwise we'd probably be in trouble. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I was going to give you a little update on me breakfast situation. Because, after all, this is our breakfast tradition, right? It's not Warcraft, but it's still breakfast, and that's what matters. Oh. Oh, let's not take the rubies that are in the chest just sitting in the middle of nowhere. That's an unpleasant surprise. What an unpleasant surprise those rubies sure are. We sure don't want those rubies. Okay. What's this? The house was dark. I don't like the looks of it. Okay. His scouting increased. Was it really a trap? Danger chance. Without warning, a Queen Pirate charges them from the other side of the small house. Better kill or be killed. Look out, Jane screamed, ready for combat. Ambush! Oh, wow. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. We just ran away from those pirates. Look at all the pirate campfires. Those were definitely pirates. Now this here looks like it could be Lyton. Are we on Lyton? I'm feeling quite enlightened. Oh, we went down the hill from Lyton, actually. This is the wrong way, but we'll just, you know, go check out whatever this is. It looks like some kind of an inn. Never hurts. A little friendly inn exploration. This used to be an inn of some kind. Apparently the place was abandoned some time ago. Oh. Huh. Professor Lyton. Okay, let's go on up this road. Here's Lyton. I think. There's a well. The well seemed normal, and yet there was something about it. Stepping up to take a closer look, Owen jumped, suddenly felt a powerful surge of energy into his body. He jumped back in pain. Obviously, said Owen, rubbing his stinging shoulder, somebody doesn't want us to get close to the well. Perhaps we should talk to whoever lives in that house over there. Standing in front of the intricately carved door. Sorry, I'm just checking my timer. Owen stepped forward. These are magic symbols, said the magician. Carved no doubt by magic means. Nope, just a regular hunting knife. The figure of a small elderly man followed the disembodied voice around the corner of the house. I was out back tending to some chores. You're right about the symbols, by the way, though carved them there myself. Name's Flower Wiggin. Thrilled to be in the presence of another magician, Owen smiled and said, it would have been easier to do magically, Flower. I suspect you're right about that, but I'm not a magician. No, it was my brother who had the gift. Died a couple of years back, the old man said solemnly at the door at the moment. Suddenly he said cheerfully, left behind a magic well, his legacy. It's guarded by a pretty nasty spell. It'll give you a good jolt unless you turn it off. You head on over the well and I'll give you a drink, but I'll fix you right up. I'll fix you right up and set you back only 25 sovereigns. So, I guess it's a magic healing well. That we don't really need at the moment, but we might need to come back here, so not a bad place. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I'd never seen this part of the game before, so I can't sleep there. This is bad country. A well-armed band of men approached. You shall not pass this way unless you pay a road tax, one of the men said. James put a hand on his sword. Under whose authority do you make these demands? He shouted back. Lord Lyton. Now either turn back or pay us a tax of 25 gold sovereigns. Which will it be? It's worth it. The bag was heavy. James gritted his teeth and as he carried the pouch of gold coins to the man standing before him. He dropped it off noisily at their feet, making sure his hand was held high enough in the air for it to make quite a noise. Lord Lyton thanks you, he said. We thank you. He laughed at the others. Okay, you may pass. Okay, that looks like the magic well house. I'm in Lyton, right? I mean, it's nighttime. We probably should camp. I'd feel better if we camped. Was this not the magic well house? It's just another well house. Gorth was about to knock at the front door when he heard a strange roaring sound coming from inside the house. It looked for several seconds to stop and then began again. What in the name of Ishap? Gorth stood with his ear cocked to the door. Suddenly realization dawned on you. With a smile, he turned to leave. Owen gave him a puzzled look. We're leaving. It sounds like a wild beast was in there. Perhaps we should see if there's anyone inside in need of our assistance. I'm afraid even if you were a master magician like Pug, you couldn't cure a snore like that. Come on, let's allow him to sleep. Oh, I thought there was something else going on in that bit place that wasn't, you know, snoring. James looked around the small barn. Judging by the variety of livestock, he guessed it was common property, perhaps owned by the citizens of Lyton. He poked around for a few minutes and said, "Not in much interest here. Let's move on." Oh, just some pigs and some cows. James knocked almost immediately. There was a ton of frantic movement inside the house in silence. He knocked again. Nothing. Hello? Silence. Is anybody there? We're weary travelers and only want a moment of your time and perhaps a drink of water. James waited patiently for a moment and looked sternly. Look, we know you're in there. We've heard you moving about. Finally, with the door still closed, the man replied weakly, We know who you really are. We will have the rest of the taxes as soon as we get the money. No amount of argument or explaining could convince the man of the truth. The door remained closed. Something mighty fishy going on around here. The door opened with a creak. Good day, said a lady of about 25. What brings you, kind gentlemen, to Lyton? James glanced at Gorth and replied, matter-of-factly, just passing through. Could we trouble you for something to drink, perhaps? You'll find a well beside the road near the center of town, she said. Realizing she was probably a bit leery about talking to strange men, James thanked her for information and said goodbye. How nice. James is such a courteous guy for a thief. Let's see what the shopkeeper here has to sell. This place is abandoned, Gorth said, looking around the room. Maybe occupants left some behind we could have. Let's have a look. Oh, 15 gold coins to make up for, you know, the 25 gold coins that we gave that one guy. That works. James rapped on the tavern door. It was apparent no one was coming to open up. James shrugged. Well, it would have seemed to common folk have taken Prince Ruth's laws to heart. Doors only open from midday to midnight, he said with a sigh. But I suppose someone has to ensure the farmers weren't drinking when they should be in the fields. Sometimes he really takes all the fun out of life. That's his catchphrase! You really take all the fun out of life. Wow, that's funny. The man at the door flew into a rage. You, he shouted, pointing at James. That hand you sold me was totally worthless. It wasn't a glory hand at all. James took a step back. I'm afraid you mistaken me for someone else. I really have no idea what you were talking about, but did you say something about a hand? We'll buy it back from you. I tossed the worthless thing into the dried up well at Lyton. 150 sovereigns, that's how much I paid for it. You tell me you give me my money back if I retrieve it for you. So, I don't know if I have to pay this guy. Pay him for the hand. Okay. Apparently 150 gold is worth this. James nodded. The man looked at him suspiciously, threatened to have them strung up if they weren't around when they returned, and then left. Several hours later, he returned with a small burlap bag. Placing a table with a thunk, he turned to James. Here's your hand. Now give me back my gold. I didn't take your gold, so let's call this a sale, shall we? said James. Call it whatever you like. Where's my bloody money? The man bellowed. James retrieved the money from his pouch and dropped it on the table. The man scooped it up greedily and demanded they stay until he had a chance to count it all. Something fell behind me, but that's okay. I have no clue what that would be. Okay. We did this. We sure did this thing that we were doing. We need to go back the way we came. I'm facing the wrong way. This is, Well, we'll check out the road here. I think if I go... Oh, there's another farm field over there. I kind of want to check it out, but I want to go back to put that hand in that grave and... is it already getting to be... Can we go to the inn and tavern and Lyton and get a drink and maybe get a room for the night here so we don't have to like sleep out in the cold again? That'd be nice. James sniffed. Just stepping inside the tavern's doorway, he detected the faint papaya. Okay, this is they don't clean. Conversation in the room halted briefly as James pushed his way inside the room, returning a nod from a rough-looking pair of mercenaries that seemed engaged in dispute over a lost bet. No innkeeper. Oh, there's an innkeeper. Men were laughing. That sounds like quite a funny story, James said. Would you care to repeat it? The man looked nervously. No. Please, James said with a warm smile as he could master. Understand the man was a bit nervous. Well, I was just telling the fellows about old glove. I paid 300 summons for a dead man's hand. Thought it was a glory hand or something like that. Figured he could sell it for big money, I guess. James thanked the man for his information this time. The man accepted their company. Owen chatted idly with the rough-looking fellow as James looked on, making certain that his rebellion mood the magician didn't sleep and give away true purpose of their travels. So where are you headed? The man asked, just having a large arc with his ale cup. Any place interesting? Actually, we're not headed in any specific direction, James intervened. We're wandering, looking for an employer, treasure to watch, caravan to guard. The man snickered. Or a caravan to steal from, eh? Freebooters then, and that's not much going on in the kingdom these days, not in the west. The prince has seen to it. His roads are safe and his vassals are happy for the likes of us. He's taking all the fun out of life. James nodded. You're not the first one to say so. They really like rubbing in the he takes all the fun out of life thing. They sure do. They sure do that. Prince Arutha, his like little sub-lust is he takes all the fun out of life. Sorry. I'm enjoying a delicious cereal. James asked for company. Smiling at them, the man eagerly accepted their offer. The fellowship was and told a number of tales about his work for Lord Lyton. Unsure what the man's manner inspired his trust, James responded likewise by telling him a few details of the trip to Romney, though admitting specifics about Gore's part and things. Ah, I don't envy you that, the man said, waving his hands. I'd not be heading anywhere near the river, not for any amount of silver, not me. Why's that? James asked. Awful trouble. There, the Guild of Romney and the River Post Guild are as good at war. If you ask me, some bloke down Silden way is trying to stir things up. I've heard he's even got a few sneaks who are posing as members out of their guilds, carrying forged guild seals. Saw a group of them with Max Fever, that greedy bastard out west of here. When the man excused himself to go answer nature's call, James pondered for a moment the things he'd learned. While it seemed wildly improbable that the events were going on around him were somehow connected, he had seen the plots of Mandamus previously, the last uprising, and those circumstances had left him jaded. It made him none more comfortable that he was now escorting a former ally of that Mortal monster. Okay, what's in? Nightmaster looked tired. 9 sovereigns for the night. Blah, blah, blah. I have 563 gold. The room was cramped. Blah, blah, blah. We did that. Look at our health. Oh, he stole some extra money. The Nightmaster smiled nervously. You understand that nothing in the establishment can be held responsible. Yeah. Let's, don't hear to exit, not the door, of course. Okay. Bright and early. Fine morning it is. Another barn. Let's check out this one. There may be some cool pigs in it. James pushed open the door of the wooden barn. Inside he found stalls containing a standard mixture of animals. The floor of his barn was covered in a pungent mixture of hay, dust, and animal dung. It made his eyes water. He was glad when they left a few minutes later. It's a long way to the barn if you want to rock and roll. Where am I? Am I on the right road? I am on the right road. We are facing this way, down the road, back to old, this is correct, right? I thought this was south. Am I accidentally going south again? Yeah, I'm accidentally going south again, actually. We don't want to do that. Maine, right? Yeah. Let's cut across country here. This is the road we want to be on. We want to go back to that town and get that sword. So, I will do that. I'm having a cereal this morning. A bird shot in the sky. I might think we do better to pay attention to that little creature. Whatever startled him may be close at hand. If we continue the direction we are currently headed, and I suggest we do so with great caution. What the heck? This is the direction I came from, right? I mean, I kind of went around. I didn't follow the actual road, so maybe if I do that again, I'll avoid whatever is here. But, I mean, fighting things isn't the worst either. Well, we have to get the Griefmaker sword, so I'll see you in the next exciting edition of Betrayal Krondor.